What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. Hope this video is finding you well. I hope you folks here in the US had a good holiday, good Thanksgiving. I know I did. I'm not ready to go back to work, but I need to. Otherwise, I'm going to gain every bit of weight back that I've lost, and I've eaten entirely too much over the last several days. Some of you, if you follow my Instagram, you know that I went and saw Crowbar Wednesday night, and they put on a killer show. They played with some local bands, and Crowbar was the headliner. And I picked up this shirt. It's dirty. That's the reason why I'm not wearing it. But I wanted to show it in the video. Not much to it. It's just the Crowbar logo there on the front. There we go. I'll get it right here in a second. There we go. Just the Crowbar. Then it's got the tour dates, and they were on tour with some bigger bands, but the stop that I saw was their last stop before they headed back home. Was Memphis, right down there at the very bottom. It was just they were the headliner on this show, and they played with some locals. The locals were all right, but Crowbar put on a fantastic set, and it was actually my first time seeing them, and I was very excited to finally get to see a band that I've enjoyed for as long as I can remember. And then I picked up this shirt. Some of you know I went and saw Carnifex last month, and I wanted this shirt at the show, and I just didn't have the money at the time to pick it up. And Indie Merch started their Black Friday sale early, and this actually came in yesterday. So this is the long sleeve, the kind of Undertaker long sleeve from Carnifex there. I think there's still some of those available on Indie Merch, and I actually got that cheaper by waiting, and got it. I think like $10 cheaper after shipping than what it was selling for at the show, just because of the sale that Indie Merch had going on. That's the only merch, the actual merch that I'm showing. The rest is all CDs. This is stuff from all over. It's going to be a little bit of everything. I wanted to knock this out. This may turn into a long video. Some of this stuff has just been sitting here waiting for the right time to show it, and finally I just had to make up my mind that there's not going to be a particular right time. I wanted to kind of separate things that went together, and finally I'm just going to show it all. I mean, you're going to have death metal, black metal, doom metal, power metal. There's everything in here. So without further ado, let's get into this. The first three cities I'm going to show came from Anthony Tony over at Life Eternal channel. If you haven't checked out his channel, I highly suggest that you do so. He's into some killer black metal, black and death metal. He has a huge patch collection. You'll see him get patches and stuff all the time as well. He's in a few bands, or a couple bands that I know of, one of which is a black and thrash project. I messaged him and asked him how to get my hands on one of the EPs that his band put out. It's been a couple years now, but I wanted to get my hands in support, and he just sent me this package just out of the kindness of his heart. So, Tony, thank you so much for that. I'm going to link his channel up in the description. You guys definitely go check him out and give him a subscribe if you like what you see, and give him some support. The name of his band is Apotheosis, and the name of this EP is Cursed, Vengeful, Eternity. This is a nice little slab of black and thrash. There are a few little death elements going on in this as well. I was pretty impressed with this. I hope that these guys put out something else moving forward. This has definitely piqued my interest, and he's very talented. His vocal delivery on this, and as well as what I'm going to show next, it's like night and day difference, but it's just showing how varied and talented he is to be able to do vocals in such different projects, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But Apotheosis, that it's an awesome little EP. If I can find a stream or Bandcamp or something for this, I will link it up. That way you guys can check it out as well. I'm going to link that up as well as his actual YouTube channel. So he also sent me a sticker. I think I had that. Yeah, make sure I didn't have it upside down. Apotheosis sticker there. Then he sent me a patch for another project that he's in, and this is Tony John and the Badger Boys. He is also in a country this I've only listened to one. He sent me two of the CDs. I've only listened to one all the way through so far. It's kind of old school country, like very old school, like classic country sounding, kind of mixed with this folky Americana vibe going on. I dug this quite a bit. I think he knew that I would be able to appreciate this. That's why he went ahead and threw this in the package as well. This is just Tony John with A Long Gone Memory and the Starborn Path. Has two, I guess, two releases on one. I dug this one quite a bit. I was playing this, and my wife came in and just kind of looked at me like, "That's a little out of the ordinary of what I'm of the realm of what I'm usually listening to." But I think she dug it as well from what she heard. So, and then he also sent me from the Northland, and I'm assuming this is going to be more. More of the same kind of classic country sound. I have not, as you can see, it's still in the plastic, but I have not gotten into that one yet. But Tony, man, thank you so much for sending me that. I do have a package that I'm building up for you that will be in the post soon as a little thank you for you sending me that. Moving on, I've got this stack to show and this stack to show. I will try to show all of this. I don't really have a set stopping point. If I get to the point where I'm just feeling burnt out and winded, we'll cut it off and do another part. I don't want to burn you guys out as well because there's a lot of material in here. There's some new stuff. There is some old stuff that I've been needing to grab for as long as I can remember, and it's from all over. There's eBay. I'll just get into it. The first three I picked up from Paragon Records. You guys know that I love Paragon. I don't know if YouTube will let me link like Bandcamps and stuff for each of these because you're only allowed so many links, I believe, in the comments. I will, if nothing else, list every album that I show in order. I will try to do little breaks if they came from different places or I showed something together. That way, at least you'll have the title and the band name to go kind of put the legwork in to find it. If it lets me put links, I will try to link everything up, but that will take me a while, and I don't know if they'll let me, but we'll give it a shot. First up, we have a melodic black metal project out of Costa Rica. This is an awesome album. This is Belial Horde with a post-apocalyptic landslide. There we go. This is unfortunately the only album that this band has put out. They put this full length out in I think 2015 or 2016. The fish is having a good old time in the aquarium behind me, so well to the left of me. So if you hear something splashing around or hear something in the background, that's what you hear. But back to Belial Horde. Fantastic melodic black metal, very satanic black metal, occult black metal. A lot of black metal kind of leans that way. I really dig this quite a bit. This felt like an absolute steal for me at $5. I dig this one quite a bit. It was my introduction to Belial Horde. I was on Paragon, just kind of scrolling through the artwork on that's kind of what drew my attention. I went and checked it out on YouTube and automatically added that to the cart. Next up, we have some more black metal. This is Clamor and Tenebris with Leviathan's Throne. I have not spent a ton of time with this one yet, admittedly. This was released last year on CO Productions. What I've heard so far was kind of almost folky sounding, if I remember correctly. I kind of blind bought this one. I was making the order mainly for the next album that I'll show and that Belial Horde. And the cover art on this one kind of caught my attention. Seemed like something that I would kind of be into, so I threw this in the cart. I may come back at some point in the comments and say something about this one. I just have not had the time to spin with it yet. I don't like really showing stuff in videos that I haven't listened to in its entirety yet, but I knew if I didn't show it in this video, it probably would not get shown at all. But that's Leviathan's Throne from Clamor and Tenebris. Tenebris. I don't know how to pronounce that. So Next up, this is some death metal. This is out of Venezuela, I believe, and this is just some nasty, ferocious death metal. And I was stoked when I saw this on Paragon. This is what started the order and led me. I mean, I only bought 3 CDs, which is kind of low for me on a Paragon order, but this one I definitely wanted to get my hands on. This is Wrathful with Open Chest, just some nasty, nasty death metal. It has some blackened tinges going on with this. Kind of reminds me. It definitely has that South American feel going on. Christian type deal. That is um, definitely plays a role. I think as far as inspiration. But yeah, I dig this quite a bit. If you have not heard this, I definitely highly recommend it. Just blistering, nasty, ferocious death metal. So, next up, the next one is one that I just got in the mail yesterday. I pre-ordered this on Bandcamp. This was released on Profound Lore. This is the Temple with their self-titled. You want to talk about some nasty, almost cavernous black and death metal. This is amazing. I have been completely sprung on this release. I've listened to the stream, I don't know how many times. It came in the mail yesterday and went immediately into the CD player. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw me post this yesterday. Look at that artwork. That's what drew me in. I know you're not supposed to judge an album by its cover, but let's be honest. If you're a collector like me, if you're just looking for new music, the album cover can make or break whether you check out something that you aren't familiar with yet. And that album cover drew me in. That's what originally led me to kind of listen to the pre-release tracks, and I knew I wanted to get my hands on this. Fantastic release off of Profound Lore. This one I don't like something this new saying it's going to be on my end of the year list because I haven't really had the time to digest it completely and kind of let it simmer and see if it still holds weight like stuff from the beginning part of the year. But I can say right now, this one definitely has contention of being on my end of the year list because it is that good. Next up, this is another fairly new release. This came out maybe a month or two ago through Nottermott Productions. This is an EP, kind of reworked some older stuff, and then it has some of the newest stuff that this band has done as well. I'm going to butcher this. Havukruunu. You guys probably know this band, folky black metal. If you're into black metal, I'm sure you've heard this band before. This is Erkylän Yllä. Yeah. I will link that one up in the description just in case. Folky, uh, cold, searing cold black metal. I love everything that this band does. I actually also finally got a hold. Sorry, I hit the table and I think that it's right here. Um, yeah, there it is. Finally, after all this time, got a hold of the debut. I think this is the fifth pressing. Came out in 2017, and they've done either 4 or 5 pressings already. And I kept missing it out. They sell out so fast, and I went and bought this. And when I saw that they had, when I went to buy this, I saw that they had the debut, another pressing of that available, and I was like, don't mind if I do, because the originals are going for an insane amount of money. So definitely happy to have those in the collection. Next up, this is another new album. This came out on Nuclear Blast. Hasn't been out just maybe a week or two. This is the newest release from Khemmis. This is Deceiver, another phenomenal release. This is probably going to be on my end of the year list. Just how high or how low is still, we're still working that out. Kind of like what I said from the Temple release. I want to let it kind of simmer and digest a little bit before I go saying just how great I think it is, because it's stuff that's come out more recently has an unfair advantage as far as end of the year lists go. But I love Chemist. They're one of those bands that I just don't see them doing anything wrong. This is probably uh, upon initial listens, this is probably one of my favorite releases that they've ever done. So, but I really dig. I dig Khemmis can do no wrong, pretty much in my eyes, unless they do the Opeth route and go uh, non-metal. Then maybe I won't dig them as much, nearly as much. Next up, this is a band. Actually, I'm wearing the shirt, so this is fitting. This is Enforced with Kill Grid. I bought this on eBay uh, before I got this shirt in a metalhead box, and this shirt came in maybe a month or two ago, and this took forever. I don't remember the eBay seller that sold me this. I wish I did. I should have looked at it before the video so I can mention it. That way you would know that you're going to have to wait forever. And it wasn't that it was in the post forever. It just took them forever to ship it out. They printed the label and just kind of sat on it forever. So I would have happily paid another dollar or two just to get it here quicker. But just nasty, thrashy death metal off of. I think this is on Century Media, but I really dig Enforced. Thank you, Pedro from AMP Reacts. He was the one that kind of led me between Pedro and Metalhead Box. That's what led me to check out Enforced, and I'm very glad that I did. Next up, another new release. If you're wondering why I'm showing so many new releases and not holding them for Seven Deadly Spins, I think I'm done with Seven Deadly Spins until the new year. So I wanted to get these shown until after the new year. So we have Conjureth with their newest release entitled Majestic Dissolve. I have not spent enough time with this, admittedly. I love everything that Conjureth does. Just a killer, fairly new death metal band. They've been pumping out material within the past couple years, and everything that they put out is good. This one falls right in line with their previous releases. I still think the Foul Formations little EP is my favorite little slab that they've put out. Maybe it's just kind of because that was my introduction. I'm not sure, but I've enjoyed everything that I've heard off of this so far. I'll probably set this one to the side and spend a little bit more time with it today because it's kind of been sitting here and overshadowed by some of this other stuff. I've gotten so much in such a short period of time. Sometimes stuff just doesn't get the attention that it rightfully deserves. One that you've all seen shown so many times already. I don't really have to speak too much about it. We have the newest release from Worm entitled Foreverglade. This was released on 20 bucks spin. You guys have seen this make the rounds. Everyone's touting this as I've seen several people already say it's their album of the year. Is it going to be my album of the year? No. Will it be on? It will probably be on my list, but I don't see this as like the greatest world changing album of the year, as some people are putting out, but it is a very strong release. I've enjoyed everything I've heard from this project, and I do enjoy the kind of inspirations that this band kind of pulls from. It has a lot of like classic sounds kind of meshed together within this, and it really works. They're able to blend different little subgenres like black metal and doom metal, some death, together in a way that feels kind of fresh and intriguing. And that's definitely a testament to how good of an artist Worm is. So good stuff there. Next up, some Doom Death. This was another Profound Lore Records release. This is another very strong album that's come out this year. This is Mortiferum with Preserved in Torment. This is one that I kind of wore myself out on the stream on Bandcamp. I was streaming it after I ordered it while I was waiting for my CD to get here from Canada, and I kind of wore myself out on this. It's one of those that I have to be in a mood for. Otherwise, it can put me in a dark place. That just kind of how good the music is. If it can alter your mood and alter your perception of things that much, that just kind of tells you how good of an album that Mortiferum crafted here. But fantastic stuff. I really do dig this one, so definitely check that one out as well. Next up, we have some deathcore. This is a band that my son actually got me into. Speaking of deathcore, I think my next concert that I have lined up will be in January. That's the next one on slated on the table. I'm taking my son to see Fit for an Autopsy. I think Ingested is playing there. I don't remember Enterprise Earth and a couple other bands. So that will be in Memphis. So if some of you are there, feel free to come up and say hello. This is a band, as I was saying, that he kind of got me into. I have their debut EP, and then they put one out a few months ago. This is a Fathom with Imprisoned. This is the debut EP, 5 tracks, self-released by the band. Just some nasty deathcore. I believe they're out of Ohio. I was about to say New York, but I think this band is actually out of Ohio. There's the actual disc. And then I have their newest EP, Malevolent Auras. And it's kind of nice to see how the band is stepping forward between releases. I feel like this is a much stronger release, has a little bit more depth to it. This is also a 5 track EP. A little bit better production sound, I guess you could say, on this one. I dig this one quite a bit. So it's always nice when my son can introduce me to new bands. So there we have Fathom. I don't know if they have a Bandcamp or not. I will link up. Uh, I bought these on their Big Cartel store. So if that's something that you might be interested in picking up, I'll at least link up that Big Cartel so you can pick it up for yourself. Next up is another band that I've really been getting into lately. They put out a full length last year that's not in English, so I'm not going to try uh, to pronounce that one. But that one's one that grew on me quite a bit after the year was over. I don't know. I don't even think it was on my end of the year list last year. And now that it's had time to kind of, it's been a year later and time has moved on. It's one like looking back, it would have been pretty high up on the end of the year list. So I've kind of backtracked and started checking out more of the band's material. This was their previous release, the one just before that. That was released on Hypnotic Dirge Records. This is Marsh Funebre with Into the Arms of Darkness. Uh, Doomy, I guess it's doom metal, has some death, like doom death going on. Uh, they have their influences. They wear their influences on their sleeve pretty much. I feel My Dying Bride very heavily in a lot of their material. Unfortunately, this one got a little banged up in transit, but um, My Dying Bride, I feel that one pretty heavy. They have particularly in the latest album, not as much in this one. I felt like some Opeth vibes going on as well. But I dug this album quite a bit. I think this and their latest are probably my two favorite releases from the band. One of those you kind of another one that you kind of it's nice to watch the progression of the band moving forward, and especially when the band is moving in a direction that you enjoy. It makes it a much more pleasurable experience just because you're kind of salivating salivating and waiting to see what they're going to put out next. But a good there we go. Let me get a swig. Sorry about that. But yeah, good stuff there from Marsh Funebre and Hypnotic Dirge Records. This will probably get me a couple hits on the dislike button. This next one. Um, I got an email from PayPal and it was like save $5 for your next order off your next order of at Gorehouse Productions. I had a little bit of money in my PayPal, but not very much at all. So I could save $5. I was like, well, I'm just going to go get a CD that will probably pay for get me a free CD. So I went and jumped. I was just going to pick up the first one that I saw on their site that I wanted, and this just happened to be the first album that I saw on there. And it's weird because this is not something that you would expect to pick up from Gorehouse Productions, but we have Goatmoon. As I said, I know some people. I understand your feelings about Goatmoon. If you're not into them, I get it. I enjoy their music. This is one that had been on my radar to pick up for a while. I'm not going to try to pronounce that album title because it is not in English, but it had been on my radar. I listened to like a YouTube stream a couple times on this, and I saw it on there, so I went ahead and just snagged it. It was pretty much a free CD because I had that little money in my PayPal and the $5 off. And then Gorehouse also gave me a freebie. They threw this in there. It was in a little paper sleeve, but I threw it in a jewel case. This is Foul Deformity with a Colonized. It's just a little 3-track demo. I have not listened to this yet. I'm assuming this is going to be brutal death metal, but I don't know. So don't get me lying on that one. I have not listened to it yet, but that will probably be on the slate for me to check out later today. I'm 25 minutes into it and I still have a huge stack. My voice is trying to go. I'm going to just kind of knock out some more of this stuff and we'll get where we get, kind of. So thank you guys that are sticking through, sticking with me. Next up is one that I picked up on eBay. I got this at a steal. I feel like I got this, I think, for around $10 shipped. This is a band out of Belgium. This is black metal. This is Enthroned with the Blackened Years box set. There are 4 albums and an EP on this. It's got the Prophecies of Pagan Fire. It's got Towards the Skull Throne of Satan and the and Reggie Sathanas EP on one disc together, and then it has the Apocalypse Manifesto, which is the best album from Enthroned in my opinion, and then Armored Bestial Hell. It's got those 4 albums and that EP on here. Some of the best Enthroned material in my opinion. It's pretty much your one-stop shop for Enthroned as far as I'm concerned. All available in this one box set. It got a little crack on the back. I don't know if the camera will even pick it up, but it's not anything um, too disheartening for me. There we have the inside. All of the discs look the same, so I'm not gonna get into that too much. But killer stuff there from Enthroned. Glad to have that in the collection. Next up, we have, this was another eBay purchase. This both came in a little kind of CD lot. It was just 2 albums, but they were something that I should have had in my collection already. I should have had these in my collection. They're both from the same band. This is a Cemetery out of Sweden. This is Godless Beauty. This is kind of, this album has a more of a death metal, like Death Doom hinge going on, kind of gothy Death Doom. They haven't gone like into the full kind of gothy sound yet on this. These aren't bootlegs or anything, so I was kind of stoked for that. These were released on Black Mark, and this one's been out for ages, 1993. So that just goes to tell you, a killer release there from Cemetery. I do not have their debut. I do need to pick that one up as well. And then I have Black Vanity. This is kind of where the train stops for me for Cemetery. I want to get their debut. Then I have Godless Beauty, and then Black Vanity, and that's kind of where I hang it up with the band. But I really enjoy this album as well. This one has a bit more of a gothy feel going on with that doom metal sound. It does still have a few of the death metal elements going on, just not nearly as much as the earlier 2 albums. But this is another really strong release. I actually gave this one a spin on Black Friday because Black Vanity, Black Friday. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm cheesy like that. If you follow my Instagram, you saw it. So next up, we have some more. This is Melodic Doom Death. This is Psilocybe Larvae with Agony. This one has been out a while as well. I don't 2003. I knew it had been out. They actually have an album coming out uh, in like 2 weeks that I'm excited for, and I was not completely aware that they had that new album coming out. I believe this band's out of Russia, if I remember correctly. They have one. This is, I think, my second or third album now that I've put into my collection from this band. I'm slowly kind of growing it. It's one of those bands that I spend some time with and then kind of step away from for a little while, and then I step back, and then I end up picking up something else while I'm listening to the albums that I have from them, and so hopefully that new album will be good, and I will add that into the collection as well. Next up, this is another band that I've been slowly adding stuff into the collection. It's Funeral Doom Metal. This is Mistress of the Dead with Weeping Silence of the Dead. Some of their material is kind of hard to come by, so when I see it for a decent price, I just kind of grab it and put it into the collection. It is a band that I do really enjoy. I have not heard anything from Mistress of the Dead so far that I do not like. So very happy to have this one in there in the collection. I got a pretty good deal on this one as well. More doom metal. This is Pale Divine with Cemetery Earth. This is the 2 disc version. It has the 2006 demo on this as well as the album Cemetery Earth. This was released on Shadow Kingdom in 2014. They have an Hell's Headbangers right now. If they still have the $3 um, sale going on, the 333 Black Friday sale. I know they keep it going sometimes for a few days. If they still have that going, they have a Pale Divine release on that Black Friday sale. If you're into kind of epic doom, if you're into traditional doom, I guess more traditional doom than epic doom. If you're into that kind of sound, I highly suggest you go pick that one up. That's a band that's really kind of grown on me. Classic doom metal coming up. These were long overdue of me adding into the collection. We have Pagan Altar with Lords of Hypocrisy. This has been out this was 2004, and this was the 2013 Shadow Kingdom reissue. There was a seller on eBay that was clearing out some really good stuff. I picked that one up, and then I picked up the Judgment of the Dead EP. I think this one's an EP, if memory serves me correct. I got both of those. This was uh, originally released in 1982, and it was reissued in 2012 by Shadow Kingdom. He was getting rid of this like classic stuff, and like I guess kind of purging his collection, and he was selling it at a price that I couldn't pass it up. And these were Pagan Altar is a band that I've been wanting to throw into the collection and kind of delve into a little bit and get a little more familiar with. And this was um, my way of doing so. So glad to have those in the collection now. Also picked up Paradise Lost with a Lost Paradise. No, I should have had this one in the collection a long time ago, but I did not. This is the reissue that Peacefield did in 2003. I think the original came out around 1990, if memory serves me correct. I don't know why I did not have this album from Paradise. I have so much Paradise Lost in my collection right now as it is. I don't know why it took me so long to get my hands on this one because this is one of their better releases, and I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm slow. I'm very slow with things. Next up is a couple bands. As I said, the seller was clearing out some stuff, and it's bands that I've been needing. You hear about these bands all the time, and for one reason or another, I just had not put them in the collection. And this first one, this is widely looked on as probably um, their worst full length. And for me, I absolutely love this. So if I love this, I can't wait to pick up some of their latter material. I say latter. This band's been around forever. This is a Tyrant with Legions of the Dead. Man, I was digging this from the moment I put this in. Just kind of traditional heavy metal has a few little. Um, it kind of has a few little power vibes going on, but man, I don't know. When I was looking at like at the reviews on Metal Archives and stuff, this was like leaps and bounds below everything else that they put out. So I was like, if that is looked on that sourly by other people that enjoy this band, I was like, what am I in store for if I check out some of their other material? So definitely a band I have to do some catching up on. But so far, this is my introduction into Tyrant, and I'm digging it. I enjoyed that every bit of that listen. Next up, another band that I'm very late getting on board with. You see a lot of these streamers and kind of the older hands that are on YouTube. I've seen them talk about this band quite a bit, and I just never really took the time to check them out. This is Manila Road, and this I got 2 Shadow Kingdom reissues of some of their material. I have the Deluge. This is another one of those power metal, traditional metal type bands. I have not given this one either one of these a spin yet, so they're kind of on deck for me to check out. But you hear people talk about Manila Road all the time, so I thought the least I could do um, was give them a shot, especially at the price point that this was going. I've listened to this one a little bit. This is Spiral Castle. I did dig what I've heard on this, and kind of glad to have these in the collection now to be able to spend some time with them on a more personable, like intimate level is with the. I don't know where I'm going with that. That don't even sound right, but in the CD player and kind of give them a fair shake. But definitely late on the Manila Road um, train. I guess I'm very late getting in on that one. Moving on to some death metal. This is a band out of Belarus. I caught this on eBay for like $1.99. I was like, and I remembered this coming out. It's been out for a while now. Early 2000s, I think, maybe 2005. This is Iron Disruption with Troops of Eternal War. Nasty, nasty death metal. It was kind of a memory refresher when I saw this going. I was like, man, I had forgotten all about this album, and I listened to it, and I remembered, and I enjoyed it just as much as I remembered. So I was like, yep, I'm buying that, and now it's here in the collection. I've got the jewel case that it came in was busted up. I changed it out, and I put the back in upside down, but that's typical me. But Iron Disruption is very, very good. Chipping away at my Vader collection, I have the ultimate incantation from Vader. This is an early press. I don't think it's a first. This was put out on Earache. It is an early pressing of this. There's so many different early pressings. It's a legitimate press, but I'm not sure which particular. But I know it's an early press of this. Some of these early Vader albums are going for insane amounts of money. I got a good deal on this one. I'm glad to have it in the collection because I love me some Vader. Slowly chipping away at that Vader discography. Next up, one that I was surprised that I didn't own. I was kind of going through my collection. I was like, man, I thought I had owned this at one point, but it wasn't in the collection. So I went ahead and grabbed myself another copy. This is Nile with In Their Darkened Shrines. I think this one came out around 2002, 2003 ish, if I remember correctly. Nile, I mean, amongst the catacombs of Neferka is always going to be my favorite Nile release. I enjoyed that more kind of gritty, low production sound that they had on that one. Um, it was kind of night and day difference moving from amongst the catacombs going forward to Black Seeds of Vengeance. I know about that time Chief Spires departed the band as well, and the sound kind of shifted to a more um, cleaner production, a more accessible style. I kind of fell off with them a little bit after that one. I was kind of taken aback by Black Seeds when I first heard it, and I don't know. I enjoy all of the discography now, but I wanted to get my hands on this one because for one reason or another, it was not in the collection anymore. But I don't think there's a Nile album that I really just don't like. So next up, I got this one from CDN Records. They had a sale going. It was like 40% off. They do these little sales where it's like a timer, and the sale stays going as long as someone buys something. Every time something gets sold, the timer resets. I saw that it was going, so I figured I would do everybody a solid in the middle of the night. One night I just happened to be up and the timer was almost off, so I grabbed this Baphomet release from CDN. This is Death in the Beginning. Classic death metal band here. I mean, I know that they've gone through some lineup changes over the years that they've been around, but I mean, you gotta love some Baphomet or Baphomet, however you want to pronounce it. But I got like a steal on that one as well. Next up, I got a couple Russian bootlegs that I purchased on eBay. The price on these should have alerted me that these were unofficial, This is first one is Flesh Crawl with Blood Red Massacre. Just the clearness and the shininess of that uh, liner inserts on this, and the booklet is a dead giveaway that this has not been sitting around in a case since 1997. I had a sneaking suspicion that these were going to be bootlegs when I purchased them, just because of the price that they were. It was not listed whether or not they were unofficial releases, but for the price point that it was, something that's this hard to find, I figured I would I take a stab at it just to see what I got. And unfortunately, they were bootlegs, but still, I mean, even as a bootleg, something that's this hard to come by, it's nice to have a copy of it, a playable copy in the collection for me to pull off and listen to when I want. And then I also got Monstrosity with Imperial Doom. This is more of the same. The inserts and the booklet are just they're in just way too tip top shape for this to be legitimate. The bootleggers, man, you have to give them credit though. They are getting to the point where some of this stuff is almost, you almost have to pull the actual disc out and look at the matrixing and match it up. Even the numbers and stuff on the matrixing sometimes match up. You have to actually look at the font and everything to discern whether it's a legitimate copy or not. But this is more of the same. Usually, when you got these really shiny, pristine shaped booklets and stuff, along with it, the paper stock and everything will give away a lot of times whether you have a bootleg or an official copy. And with this is another one's been out since '90s, and you would know right away that that was not an official release. And then the last one that I'm going to show in this video, 40 minutes in. I'm sorry I've taken up so much of your time. Um, Massacre. They were featured in Metalhead Box month before last. They had the EP coming out for their new full length, and that EP was in there. And I was like, hey, you know what? You know what album I don't have? And that is From Beyond. And this is another one that I should have had in my collection a long time ago. I don't know what took me so long to pick this up. I mean, you've got Cam Lee, Rick Ross, Terry Butler, and Bill Andrews on this. I mean, just classic death metal. This is the 2018 reissue through Earache. There you got all the guys there on the inside. Uh, Classic death metal. I mean, you can't go wrong with this. You put this on and it will snap your neck clean off. Thanks for sticking with me through the video while I'm at the point where I can hardly talk. Hopefully you found something in there that you enjoy as well. I will try my best to link up or list everything that I showed if you saw something that you wanted to check out for yourself. I know that there's a lot of stuff to go through there. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you that stuck around for this. I will try my best to get back on the CD collection as well coming up. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal, and I will see you all very soon. I promise.